What kind of comment is that? Y'all are crazy. JP. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Make sure y'all are hitting that like button. Hello, hello. Give us the weather deets. I will. I certainly will. In 1 second. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. How's everybody doing? My name is Evan Freiberger, and as you can see, we have had a little bit of an upgrade since yesterday. Also trying out a new camera angle, putting the camera back on my laptop. Now that we got the green screen, it's not, as claustrophobic doing that. You're doing great. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Hello, hello. Hey, Karen. From Tuscumbia. All right. Welcome. Welcome in. We're almost neighbors. What's up? What's up? Good afternoon. Where's everybody tuning in from, by the way? Bonjour. Ooh, fancy. Fancy, fancy. You said that like you eat frog legs. I need a Chazzy Cam in your humble opinion. I mean, that's what a lot of people say, to be honest. Pennsylvania, Paris. You're tuning in from your computer. Okay. Statesville, Norfolk, Wichita, the Great Basin. Where is that? I know where you live. I guess that's what it's called. All right. Mexico City. Hello, hello. Nebraska. South Bend, Indiana. St. Louis, Nashville. All right. Welcome. Houston, Texas. Nice. Nice, nice. Nova Scotia. Nice. Were you there? Were you in Nova Scotia when Hurricane Lee came through there? You're from Cholesterol? Okay. Where's that located? What state is that in? I would assume every state. Oh. Connecticut, Asheville, Topeka. All right. Hastings, Colorado. England. Nice. What is it? What do they say? Top of the morning to you. Would you like some crumpets and tea? Some crumpets and tea. Granbury. Nice. All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a forecast here. As you can see, we do have a moderate risk now out over here for areas like Wichita, Bartlesville, Tulsa, Independence, Pawnee, Stillwater, Enid, Woodward, Medicine Lodge, Pratt, and St. John. If you guys live in this area, I would be weather aware, but I've got a feeling about today, a good feeling, that it's not going to be as bad as we think. And I will explain. I would still be weather aware just in case I'm wrong. I do happen to be wrong sometimes. When I get this feeling that an event's going to bust, it's not usually just like, a gut feeling. It's backed by science. And we will talk about that. But regardless, we're going to go through this forecast like it's going to confirm. And then we're also going to talk about the things that could be a little bit more conditional today than what was previously thought. But also we have an enhanced risk, a 3 out of 5 for severe weather over here in the orange. And in the yellow, we have a slight risk. And in the green, we have a marginal risk. And that really extends all the way from Wyoming through Illinois, down through Oklahoma, and then back over here in the southeast from Mississippi up into Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. So we got a couple of areas here where severe weather is possible, but our kind of bullseye area is going to be over here near this orange and red region. If we come over to our tornado threat, it's not super elevated, but there is going to be a little chance for tornadoes out there, a little 5% chance over there near Dodge City, Woodward, Pawnee, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Joplin, Neosho, Pittsburgh, Independence, Emporia, Arkansas City, all in those areas. A little bit of a 5% tornado risk, and then around that in the green is a 2% tornado risk from Kansas City all the way down to Fort Smith, all the way over to Pueblo near Denver, Colorado. Also today, it looks like our biggest risk for today is going to be those damaging winds. Now, if the forecast does somehow figure out a way to confirm today, we could be talking about anywhere from 75 to 100 mile per hour winds. Even if it doesn't necessarily confirm exactly how it is, there could still be some isolated spots of those kind of winds, but a forecast like this calls for widespread winds like that. And the forecast right now is underperforming in terms of our mesoscale analysis. A lot of things just aren't really going the right way in accordance to what our models were saying earlier today and this morning. And I'll be showing you guys in just a little bit. But if things do happen to confirm today, the areas, the bullseyes where our most damaging winds for today is going to be over here near Wichita, Ponca City, Bartlesville, Tulsa, Woodward, Pratt, St. John, over there near Dodge City. And then we also have a 30% chance around that over there near Joplin, just west of Springfield, north of St. John, near McPherson, Emporia, Ottawa, and just north of Oklahoma City. So that is what I'm looking at right there for the wind. And then the hail, we're also going to have some chances for some significant hail all the way from Denver through Wichita, with a chance for some hail all the way up into Missouri, going up into Illinois and Wisconsin later today. Those are going to be smaller pieces of hail. But overall, as you can see, it could technically be a dangerous day out there. Now, one of the things that's been sticking out to me consistently, I've been comparing it to the model runs and then monitoring what the environment is looking like. And we are just significantly capped out by this time, at least on some of our earlier model runs. A lot of this capping should have at least have been getting a little bit weaker by this point. But you can see, right around where our storms are supposed to initiate, we're still dealing with 400 to 300 CIN. Instability really hasn't built in that much yet, but as you can see, the models are still calling for eventually some of that capping inversion clearing out, but it clears out pretty much at the exact same time that our daylight heating goes away. So it's going to be a close call for one. There still is a decent amount of instability there. We still could get some isolated instances, I think, of up to 75 miles per hour. But with this capping inversion being a little bit stronger, what that means is that we have a lot more colder air out there than we initially thought. So if we come back over here to our composite reflectivity and just kind of look at our current conditions and what could change as we go throughout the day, we do have some storms firing yet again in this area. These are too early. And so this is going to increase that cold pool. This is going to cap make the surface inversion a little bit stronger. And one of the things that we are monitoring at this moment is the extent of our clearing out there. You can see out over here, we do have a little bit of clearing out over near Wichita, just south of that. That's not really enough to break that surface inversion yet. But if we can get this to clear out substantially, there could definitely be an argument still to be made that we could have this confirmed. But as of right now, really none of our model run or none of our surface observations are really pointing to this event performing as expected. That's just my opinion on it. I think it's still something to watch out for. And if you do live in any of these areas, I would be weather aware. But in comparison to what the models were saying earlier, like yesterday, we'll go over that here. Actually, let's do that. Let's talk about what the models were saying yesterday and then what has changed today, because I think that's important for people to kind of understand. It's lagging on and off. No drop frames on my end. No drop frames on my end. Does anybody else have any drop frames? So let's go back into yesterday's model runs out here. It's fine here. Refresh. Okay. So yeah, yesterday's model runs, as you can see, had some pretty intense winds out there. A couple instances, but even yesterday's model runs really weren't that intense. I was around 0Z, going to around 6Z. Let's try to figure out where in these model runs you can see that we do have an area here near St. John where we have some escalated winds, but again, that's just a small area. That was 6Z quite a while ago. And then going into 12Z, you can see that signal slowly starts to fade even more. 12Z was just, maybe some significant winds in there, and then, maybe not. Seems like our highest chance is now to the east of Wichita, which would be outside of that moderate risk. And if we come over to our latest model run, our 16Z, you can see that signal gets a little bit weaker. So the closer we get to this, the more that this event is getting pushed off to the east, and also the weaker it starts to appear. And I think what's been happening is that, again, if we look at where some of our precipitation has happened out here throughout this evening and where our outflow boundary is kind of set up, it's kind of sinking more and more to the south, and we're getting a little bit more cloud cover than what was expected. And so I think what's happened is we've had a little bit too much convection. Our surface inversion has built in a little bit more than expected, and it's going to be hard for these storms to kind of overcome this. Now, is it technically impossible? No. If we get a lot of these lower level clouds to kind of bake off here. So if we come back over to our main view, we get a lot of these lower level clouds to kind of bake off, and then we just get a large warm sector start to really redevelop throughout the day. But I mean, we've only got about 3 hours for some pretty significant surface inversion to pretty much go away, to kind of warm up. That's kind of what we're looking for this event to be able to confirm. Now, do I think that we're not going to see any 75 mile per hour plus winds? No, I think that's still kind of possible. The area where I'm really kind of honing in is going to be back over here into southeastern Kansas. That seems like where we might see something. But that, I will say that signal is starting to fade on the HRRR. So even that might not happen. So it is a very conditional day. There is not a whole lot going in favor of a widespread damaging wind threat as of our morning analysis it's looking like there's a lot more things against this happening than it actually happening. So I would still be weather aware. The fact that there is a chance for it to happen, we've seen Mother Nature do crazier things. So because there still is technically a chance that this could happen, and there are some things that can improve throughout the day that could help with making this happen, I would still be weather aware out there. It's just my personal opinion that this will probably be a lot weaker of an event than we were initially expecting. And so that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it, and we will see how it happens today. We will be live covering this event later today. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the biggest significant difference between what we thought this event could be and what the models are looking like this morning and what our surface observations are looking like this morning is, again, that increased morning convection that has been going on out here. And you can actually see, well, let me come back over to radar real quick. And then we'll take this down. But yeah, as you can see, you can actually see our outflow boundaries here. They're already sinking down to the south towards Dodge City, also near St. John as well. This is making all of that air behind it a lot more stable. Right. And if we overlay our where our enhanced risk is, it's right there. So this outflow boundary is already starting to stabilize part of our risk already. So we're not going to see, for instance, that we're not expecting to see any, organized convection until a lot later today. So we've got a long time that outflow boundary is going to try to surge here. And you can see even on the models, it's kind of picking that up a little bit. And then eventually, you get some storms fire in the stable air up there near Salina, and then maybe can still eke out some damaging winds as we go like way late into the night near Wichita by around 10 p.m. That's about, the strongest look that we have had, out of most of our model runs. But even this wouldn't really necessarily, give much confidence for a moderate risk. It's a very isolated area, and it's only about 1 or 2 sections of the storm that have those significant winds, and that is out over here, which is east of Wichita, when that gets started. And as you can see, our outlook has a lot, an entire area back over here that is in that moderate, that is in that enhanced, that 3 and 4 out of 5, that the models aren't even indicating at all. That something is going to happen, let alone the surface observations and what they're saying, and then comparing those to the models and how our surface inversion has been a lot more stronger than even the models are still saying right now. Okay, so that's what that's one I've noticed this morning. I have been monitoring it, doing my little analysis, and when I get this feeling, I will say most of the times it turns out to be right, but every now and then I can be wrong in a sense. But I'm using all tools here to give you guys an advantage to go throughout your day. But yeah, let's go over the timing exactly, and then also talk about the different scenarios in which could happen. So let's go ahead and bring this all the way back here. So yeah, throughout most of the day today, we're going to have a couple of scattered showers, maybe some severe hail possible over there near Emporia. Even though that these are going to be elevated storms, north of that outflow boundary, these could definitely still have some severe damaging wind potential and some hail potential as that pushes off to the east. Eventually, as we go into around 5 p.m. today, we should see these storms start to organize into more of a damaging wind threat. Now, again, if we have a big stout surface inversion and that instability never builds back up here, these storms won't really be much. They will be barely severe, and they will bring some damaging winds into Topeka, Emporia, and Kansas City. Now, if we can get that, instability to build back in, this could be a significant wind event, but therefore Topeka and Kansas City. So those are the two scenarios to watch out for up there. Further down to the south, could have some storms develop right along that boundary. Our instability would be to the south and east of this boundary. And so if we can get a storm that can actually develop, looks like the HRRR is saying around 8 p.m. there near Hutchinson, going through Wichita, eventually south of Emporia, then pushing down to the south and east towards Pittsburgh. That could be our main significant wind producer of today. And you can see just west of Wichita, there's really not much happening throughout the day at all until we get into about 10 p.m. So most of that, if this is the case, and the HRRR has been pretty consistent on this, if this is the case, half of our risk in general will completely bust, and we still have a chance for some confirmation over here just to the south and east of Wichita coming into Joplin and Springfield. But again, these areas really aren't our most highlighted areas for today for that severe risk. So we're either going to get a big shift last minute to the east on our what I would expect to see, at least according to all the data we've had today that's been coming in. What I would expect to see for a perfect risk for today is like a moderate here, and then smaller moderate, and then an enhanced risk, maybe like that, just to have that cover the possibilities of still some damaging winds being possible back over here. But again, pretty low chance for that at this point. It seems like our biggest area where we could have our most damaging winds is going to be back over here near Wichita and then into Joplin as well. But that is the main thing that's driving that for me, at least, is the potential that our models still have a grip, which they haven't had a grip on this event since the beginning of today. They haven't had a solid grip on it at all. They haven't really been tracking where this precipitation has been developing really well at all. And so, they haven't really been tracking where these outflow boundaries have been set up either really at all today. You can see some of these outflow boundaries are already getting close to Wichita. If these pass through Wichita before we even get that, that capping inversion to die off, and then that instability to build back in, we might not even see that line segment that the models are picking up even develop, and we might not even see much significant severe weather at all. So that's kind of my thought process for today. There's a lot of things going against, at least a lot more of an isolated severe weather event rather than a big widespread, super damaging wind event. And a lot is going to have to change in our surface environment. We're going to have to see a lot of these clouds that are over here, going over to our satellite. We're going to have to see a lot of these clouds clear out and stay that way throughout the day. If we get any more convection, really, especially if we get some just like weak convection, like here in the next hour or so, and this becomes cloudy, that's going to be it for the event. There's just not going to be a way that the environment's going to be able to recover fast enough. I mean, and we're already seeing, especially west of Wichita, tons of cloud cover. tons of cloud cover. It's going to be hard for anything to become super severe coming through here. Even to initiate in the first place is going to be hard as well. So this is literally this storm's last little hope for storm food. And if this collapses, that's going to be it for today. That's going to be it. And so those are my thoughts on today. I think it's a very conditional type day. I do not think this is a slam dunk forecast at all. And in my opinion, there's probably more chances for it to fall apart than to confirm. Any questions? You bet Wichita gets storms, but we'll see. It's possible, but I think it's a low chance that it'll be like overly severe. Laramie, Wyoming. Hmm. Yeah, there is a little bit of rotation there, but thankfully that's out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Wildlife habitat management area. We can see if we can get a little eye on it though. We could look at it, that'd be cool, but probably we don't really cover Wyoming for that reason. Most of the times when you get a tornado warning in Wyoming, it's in the middle of a field, and very little is it ever actually near town. Very rare that happens. Let me see. Uh, is there any cameras? I'm trying to find if there's any cameras in this area. Web cameras. There we go. Off 80. Oh, there are cameras off 80. Are they live cameras? No, they're picture cameras. Dang it. That's unfortunate. They're all picture cameras. Oh my goodness. Uh, Picture cam caught something. I can't tell if that's just a scud-nado or a tornado. We will wait for the next image. Because it looks like that's a little hill there. That could just be a bunch of scud, or that could just be a tornado. It's hard to tell since it's not live. It's just pictures. That is something. It is something, isn't it? Let me see if there's a different perspective on that. There is not. Check radar. I mean, it's not the strongest area of rotation, I will say. That is certainly a very interesting looking cloud. It looks like three NATOs, but it could also just be a bunch of really low hanging scud. This one over here seems a little bit smooth, though. Like if someone took a picture of this and like posted it on Twitter and said tornado down in Wyoming, I'd probably be like, yeah, that's believable. But I cannot tell. Oh, we'll have to let me see if there's any other views of that thing. There is not. That is literally the only camera that shows that. Jeez. That's scary looking. I'm not gonna lie. One north of that? And there's a couple of rotations along this. I mean, none of them are really that strong, but definitely can't rule out a brief tornado in the middle of a field out here. But yeah, we'll see. You know, once that updates, we'll go back and look at it. I'm keeping an eye on it. Hopefully, we can still see that eventually. But again, we just don't have this. This is happening like in an area where there's just not a whole lot of technology. I mean, that could be something. That is something. Okay, well, that's just a tornado on the ground east of Pilot Hill Wildlife Habitat Management Area. I think that's what this is. I think this is a tornado. You got a debris signature just north and east of Pilot. A tight couplet there as well. And it all lines up. I think that's a tornado on the ground. It is unwarned. Is there anything out here? And there's like no buildings where this tornado is at the moment. Doesn't seem. Yeah. Pretty unpopulated region. So I don't think it's impacting anybody. It's in the middle of a wildlife habitat management area. Yeah, all this is side lobe contamination. From this radar, it is also side lobe contamination. Yeah, we'll see what this ends up doing. We shall see. Who's right, me or the SPC? Woodland Park is very contaminated, yeah. We can get a view on that storm, though. I'm pretty sure we have a bunch of live cameras out over there. We can go look at them if you guys want. We can take a gander. I ain't got nothing better to do. See if we can even see it in the first place. I don't think we will be able to. Man, it's just a hazy mess. This is near Woodland Park. What about this storm? There's Fort Carson. Maybe a chance. Ooh. There's something. It's not live though. Dang it. Wow, really? Like the only camera. Okay, I mean, this one's can kind of see it. Oh my goodness. The only camera that has a good view on the storm. So we just got a 70-mile-per-hour windstorm here heading towards Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yeah, I can't tell if that's still on the ground or not. And we just got the latest photo in on this potential tornado, and it's obscured by the rain. And no other camera in the area, unfortunately, has a view on that. Hope you're also taking care of yourself. I am. Yeah, there's another area of rotation right there. Not as strong as the other one. This one could still potentially be on the ground, but I'm not seeing a new debris signature on it anymore. It's a bunch of converging winds right now. The tornado threat will drop off precipitously within the next probably within the next 15 minutes. So if you come over here to the velocities, you can see what's happened here. We just have, winds that are going away from the radar, slamming into winds going towards the radar. And that is increasing the rotation in the short term. But once these, there it is.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
A new tornado warning has been issued on this storm. And again, there is just nobody to call out here yet. PA Storm Trackers is live in Kansas. Yeah, we'll go check that out. We'll bring them up just so we have something to look at. You love PA Storm Trackers? Me too. They're a good bunch. Yeah, still tracking 2 areas of circulation. This one could technically still be on the ground, but it just might not be picking up any debris because there's just not really much out here. On your bingo card for today, yeah, it's a little mesoscale accident kind of event that's happening up here. On our outlook, I'm not even sure. Yeah, they're not even a tornado risk today, so definitely a brief little mesoscale accident that's happening up here. Just got a convergence of winds interacting in just the right way to cause a tornado. Yeah, if you're just now tuning in, later on today, we're going to have potentially a strong wind risk out here. And I would be weather aware, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it completely falls apart and doesn't do anything. New MCD. Let me check it out. Yeah, this is the main area, and even they're dropping their peak intensity. Look at that, 65 to 80 miles per hour. They were saying up to 100 miles per hour earlier, and they've already dropped the intensity by 20 miles per hour. So even there, so it looks like the SPC is also getting to cold feet as well. But yeah, keep an eye out there. Again, that's going to be right in that corridor. You see, they've kind of circled that same area that I was talking about, where we do have a little bit of clearing still. So as long as no major cloud cover gets in there, then yeah. So, and that's going to be for this area. We're talking about like Wichita, Arkansas City, Ponca City, Medicine Lodge, Pratt. Sent me a camera. Let me check it out. Let me see what you got. It's probably too far away from the storm. Is that live? It says it says it's an image. %95 chance of a tornado watch being issued. Yeah. Each possible. Not going to get a tornado in this environment, though. At least the one that we have now. A lot's going to have to change. Again, the SPC, even when like a lot of signs come in that are like, oh, wait, this isn't exactly what we expected was going to happen today, they very rarely change their opinion. Yeah, latest scan on this tornado warning in Wyoming still might, that actually might be a new debris signature popping up there. That could still very well be on the ground, moving off to the north and east. Yeah, we just checked out the MCD. I think it's wrong. I am not bullish on today's event whatsoever. Terrain stretching. For this one, no. I mean, we just had like two, opposing boundaries kind of interact with each other. We had, winds that are moving in this way, and then winds coming through this way, and they just kind of hit and mixed up a little bit, and this tornado will likely be, honestly, if it's been on the ground since the beginning, that could be, on the longer track of tornadoes. Got into the little area of rotation here. Also, a little bit of vorticity up here as well. So that a little bit of terrain stretching is probably affecting that. Had 15-minute cloud burst here in Cebus, Hawaii. What's a cloud burst? Watching at work today, you missed too much yesterday. Yeah. Did you miss that tornado that happened in Nebraska? We just wanted to be included. Yeah. Yeah, Woodland Park, Colorado's side lobe, or it was last time we looked at it. Let me check it again. Yeah, still got a lot of side lobe contamination. Again, our mesocyclone would be in this area. Yeah, there's our latest scan. Yeah, and as you can see, there's just not any rotation there. All this back over here is in the clear air, so that's all side lobe. You'll be able to get a good view on that storm, though. I mean, you have some Colorado cameras out here. Still not giving up on that. Let me go ahead and put this here. Put this here. Gotta get this camera set up anyways for today. Might as well do it now while there's nothing crazy happening. Ah, that camera done went away. I'm surprised. Yeah, but we should get a pretty good view eventually from this camera near Woodland Park. So we should get a good view. Right now, we're looking at the rain bands in this storm, but eventually, this little mesocyclone will come pretty. Our camera's right here, so it should come pretty close. We should get a nice little view of it. Let me put this here. Let me fix this. Okay. Awesome. All right. All that set up. You missed yesterday as well. You rewatched it today. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, yesterday was insanity. Yeah, but bottom line though with these storms, there could be some hail and some 70-mile-per-hour winds about to make it pretty close to Colorado Springs and Woodland Park. Would definitely be indoors and away from windows with those guys. Yeah, latest scan on this looks like we're starting to lose that rotation. I would assume the storm is either roping out or dying out there. Again, that tornado threat up there should be extremely brief. This is what it's looking like out over here. Lot of rain. Lots and lots of rain still. Adding to that cool air that is building in this area. You can definitely see there's an area where there isn't much air. I mean, isn't much cool air at the moment. That's the area we're watching. I think it's mainly going to be like if we do get anything crazy today, it's probably going to be near Wichita and then off over towards Independence and Parsons. And it'll probably die like after Joplin, Missouri. Those are my current thoughts. So pretty isolated area in my mind, where our highest damaging wind threat is at the moment. A lot different than what the SPC outlook looks like. Supposed to reach 97 to 98 today. Wow. That's hot. Now there is rotation near Woodland Park. Yeah. Have to give it another. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's legitimate. Legitimate rotation is developing here into Colorado, just west of Woodland Park. I don't think we have cameras over there, though. Let me check. Near Divide. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for that to come all the way over here. Where's that one camera we were just looking at? Did it really go down? No. There's a little bit of rotation there. Would I call it strong rotation? Not yet, but definitely worth keeping an eye on that little area. For sure. Let's come back over here and warn this field again. Yeah, it looks like that rotation is now gone. That tornado threat's probably going to just evaporate from this point forward. I'd be very surprised if we got another tornado warning up there. There's really not a very favorable environment. I think that little tornado there was a little mesoscale accident. Yeah, it looks like they have dropped that to radar indicated now. So, like everybody's on the same page there. Still a little couplet there. And this is in Colorado, just west of Woodland Park. Hoping to get a nice little view on it. Think about Tulsa. Yeah, let's go back over our forecast. That was the main reason why I went live. So out over here, I do believe this entire western portion has a pretty high likelihood of not really seeing much. But back over, I still think like this part of the risk needs to be monitored. There, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. 50-50 on the eastern portion of our risk. I do think that there is a chance that this also could fall apart as we go throughout the day and get a little bit more information. But I also think there is still some area and some arguments to be made that the eastern part of our risk can still confirm for today. So yeah, I would definitely be still pretty dang weather aware over there near Wichita, Bartlesville, Tulsa, Stillwater, Independence for that potential. But again, there's also, I would say, just an equal chance that nothing really happens out there. There's really not high confidence on this event at all. This should be an enhanced risk, not a moderate, in my opinion. There's just not high enough confidence for that moderate risk right now. But everywhere else, we're talking about, a couple of storms being possible. Out over here near the Colorado Rockies, and eventually, we're going to have some severe weather threat. Can't rule out a tornado there in Colorado, especially over here in southeastern Colorado, where we have a little bit of a boundary draped like that. Any of those storms latch onto that could see some tornado potential, maybe some early tornado potential near the mountains, as there is always a little bit of extra vorticity out over there. Now, let's come over to our model runs here and show you guys what we're talking about for the latest on this severe weather threat. So this is our most recent HRRR model run. And yeah, you can see that it really doesn't do much at all in that western area until we get to about 9 to 10 p.m. And it's really right around that Wichita area where we start to see that MCS develop. We might get a little MCS, try to make it through the Wichita area by around 7 p.m. Let's see what the winds are looking like on that. Yeah, really not that elevated on that one. See what it looks like as it goes down the line. Yeah, maybe some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds possible. And that secondary line seems like the strongest winds are like this model is actually pushing this more to the east of Wichita for the most damaging winds. Potentially some, significant damaging winds there north of Bartlesville now going into Pittsburgh and Joplin, and then starting to fall apart around Springfield. So again, I still think it's going to be around this corridor. That seems to be the most likely chance that we see those damaging winds, the significant damaging winds occur. Everything else will be pretty spotty, and then we might actually get an organized QLCS line developed by around 12 a.m.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
New tornado warning has been issued for this storm back over here near Woodland Park. Where is Patrick? Yeah, where is he? I know who you're talking about. I've used his feed before. Is he near that tornado warning? I'll bring him up. Patrick is in Penton, Colorado. Or Peyton, Colorado. Let me see who that is. Okay, he's not far from it. If need be, he could help for sure. Yeah, latest scan on this storm, still a decent little couplet on that, which is why they've thrown a tornado warning on this. If you live in Woodland Park, Cristola, Green Mountain Falls, and Chipeta Park, you guys need to be in your safe spots. Most dangerous area of rotation, in my opinion, is back over here. This back over south of Woodland Park looks like side lobe contamination to me. So I'm mostly focused on this little area back over here where we have a tight area of circulation about to move just to the south of Woodland Park here in Colorado. And we should be able to get a view of this eventually from our storm chaser and also from some of our cameras that we do have in the area. Let's go check back in with those. Oh, wow, look at that. There's something there. Shoot. It appears to be like maybe a wall cloud developing on that. And that is definitely our best camera. But it might go south of this. Laramie is fine. Cheyenne's got potentially up to 70-mile-per-hour winds coming towards Cheyenne. How's the weather? It's a little active. Nothing too crazy right now. Had a brief tornado in the middle of, most likely in the middle of a field east of Laramie, Colorado. And we're monitoring. This is a tornado warned storm that we're looking at right here from a Colorado camera, where we have a little tight area of circulation. We're going to try to catch this thing. If it does try to drop, I thank you, Mike Rush, for gifting 5 memberships. I do appreciate that. Thank you. If you say Mike Rush's name really fast, it sounds like Mike Crush, which is why his name is that. Unless your name's really Mike Rush, then I apologize. Yeah, if you're just now tuning in, we are watching this storm over here near Woodland Park, where we have an area of tighter circulation over here just north of the divide. We're keeping a close eye on for a little bit of a tornado threat. So if you live over here near Cristola, Green Mountain Falls, and Chipeta Park, I would be in your safe spots as this pushes off down to the south and east towards Chipeta Park. And this is what the storm looks like right now. We're monitoring what appears to be maybe a wall cloud developing on the left side of the screen. Courtney, I appreciate that. Oh, gotta refresh the video. Let's do that. There we go. Don't say Mike Hunt fast. Yeah, that's a bad one. Yeah, Mike Rush, you should change yours to that. Your name really is that. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. You must have had an interesting life growing up. Everybody called you their crush growing up. Still not seeing a NATO on this thing. Do you want to check other cameras just to make sure this is our best view? Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, dang, we missed it. Oh, well. Missed it going over that mountain. Apparently, that was our best view. Always got to check. Just make sure. Sometimes I don't check. And it still looks pretty ominous here. You get a pretty close approach. I'm not sure if that's a wall cloud there on the left side of the screen or if that's just like a cloud that's ahead of the storm. I think the main area of circulation is going to come over that hill. As far as I can tell, that's what makes the most sense to me. Where's that camera? It's just south of Woodland Park, Colorado, where we got a tornado warning right now. We're trying to see if a tornado drops out of this storm so we can be ahead of it and give you guys an understanding of what the storm is capable of. This is a storm we're looking at in Woodland Park. Yeah. Do this really quick. Thank you, Alf. I appreciate that. The latest scans still have a little area of rotation there, but it's not as strong as it was. It's starting to fizzle. But we'll see what this really looks like. I mean, you can definitely tell there appears to be some circulation in there. So you got a lot of movement happening with the clouds as they come over this little hill here. There definitely still seems to be some decent rotation on the surface, but as far as I can tell, no NATO on the ground yet, but that rotation's about to make a pretty close approach to our camera. It'd be like 25 in chat. Yeah, those were the good old days. And also the days where, I definitely was not making a living whatsoever and was living paycheck to paycheck. So maybe not so great. There's definitely still a lot of movement back there. The storm, our camera is located right here, just south of Woodland Park. Area of rotation is still back in over here, most likely. The leading edge of the thunderstorm, though, is right here. So it looks like our rotation might have died off and is becoming a little bit more outflow dominant. And thank you. Hey, it's Willow. Love the streams. I appreciate that. Conditional strong tornado risk in southern Kansas. Nah, I don't see that. I don't see it at all. I've been monitoring mesoanalysis all day. I'm just not seeing a very potent severe weather day in Kansas today. I mean, I still feel like past Wichita definitely could make an argument, but mainly in this area, but you would need a lot more of a open warm sector, with not so much of a surface inversion to really see a tornado threat. I would think where we could still maybe have a strong tornado would be like back with like some of these storms that could form on this part of the boundary. But you can really see the boundary is already sunk past Dodge City. Dodge City is like right on the line there of the enhanced and moderate risk. So, I mean, Dodge City's, you know, dangerous severe weather threats about to drop almost to zero if that goes past you. And you can see how fast this boundary is sinking to the south. I mean, this is going to cut. This is probably the main reason why the models are really starting to indicate that west of Wichita, we're just not going to see much, is because of how fast this boundary is sinking down to the south. And I think model run by model run, the models are slowly, catching on to that being a major player here. The models have been wrong all day. So if you've been looking at models, forming your opinion, you are going to be wrong because the models have been wrong all day. Now let's come back over here, check in on our storm. Yeah, it looks like this camera has lost the view of it. And this one's starting to see something. No. About this. Any good views after that of this storm? Doesn't really look like it. See what the storm is made of, maybe. I would say if we get a strong tornado today, it'll be likely like somewhere like in like eastern Colorado, maybe going into like western Kansas. But if this continues to sink further down to the south, we got to move that line further down to the south. So maybe like back over here near like Oklahoma, near the Oklahoma-Kansas border. But you're not going to get a strong tornado risk out of these storms at all. That's on tomorrow. Tomorrow we got enhanced risk. Tornado chances are elevated out there. Hail is 15%. Wind is 30%. So that's the main driver of our enhanced risk. And thank you, Judy, for the 10. Thank you so much. Might be a long day / night for you. Nah. I have a feeling that we'll probably be able to. I don't think it's going to be that crazy of a day. That's just my opinion. I'm pretty darn confident on that. I don't know why. It's just all the signs point to a meh day. So probably pretty chill, if I had to guess. Let me make sure all these chasers are current here. Should get a good view from Patrick here in a little bit. He's in Colorado Springs near that tornado warned storm. Not sure if he's targeting this one or if he's targeting the storm that's forming near Fountain. Glad he got a little location overlay though. Is there an observed tornado in Colorado right now? No. Radar indicated we had a tighter area of circulation earlier, but that has died. So I think they're going to allow this tornado warning to expire very shortly. Still have a tornado warning up here, but they're going to let that one also expire here shortly too. So we just got a new update on our NATO warning down here. Yeah. Continuing it for the next 16 minutes. Thank you, Nolly. I appreciate that. What do I think of the MRMS additions to the WeatherWise? I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I mean, you can just zoom out, zoom in anywhere. You don't have to switch around radar. If you want to get like a really, updated view, you just click on the warning, click that button, and then bam, you get that high definition view. And then when you zoom back out again, just to make sure everybody can see their storms, just switch right back over to there, and it's really nice. You love WeatherWise, but the whole Storm Chaser drama, I feel like I don't want to support them. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. It is a little weird that you lock down Storm Chasers on a contract like that, exclusive to your app. So I do agree with that. Must have missed that. It's basically, they signed Brandon Kopic and Corey Gherkin to the app, and if you're sponsored by another app, like a radar app, you can't use Brandon Kopic or Corey, and that's never been a problem. With Radar Omega never did that, so it's kind of a new tactic. I'm not sure if that's, but here's the thing: I'm not sure if that's a weather-wise policy or if that's just Brandon Kopic saying that and Corey saying that. I have no idea. I think tomorrow will also be more conditional day. Yeah, let's go check in on the models. We're just getting in range of tomorrow, so I would exercise caution in believing what the models are saying right now, because again, things will change as we get closer. It is June, and it'll either change for the better or it'll change for the worse. So still kind of undecided on tomorrow, but we are going to have a little bit of morning convection out there going into tomorrow, and then eventually could get some storms form. As far north and east as into parts of Indiana and going into Michigan. This will probably be our main event out there. Wouldn't rule out there being some tornado potential. We have some decent lower level winds, decent upper level winds as well. And the main thing that's going to be to watch is going to be, are those winds going to be parallel to each other or perpendicular? Is this going to be more of a damaging wind line segment, or are we going to have some discrete supercells in there? If we come over to our significant tornado parameter, you can see that there are some points here where it does get a little bit elevated, especially into parts of Indiana, going into northwestern Ohio, and then into southeastern Michigan. So there's definitely an argument to be made that there could be, some tornado chances also over here near Arkansas as well, and going into around 6 p.m. with these storms. That's significant tornado parameters in like deeper into Arkansas. So it would be like a prefrontal storm that would have to fire in order to take advantage of that environment. We got a little bit of a short wave out here, a little bit of some lower level winds, a little bit of some upper level winds, just enough to be somewhat concerned for a brief spin up. But again, not a super dangerous environment there by any means. I think it caused a split between Brandon and Vince, who were always your favorite duo, and now they never seem to chase together. Yeah, I think they've been riffing for longer than we think. Because like it used to be just like Brandon Vince, and then it turned into like Brandon Corey and Vince, and then now it's just Brandon and Corey. Apparently, Brandon doesn't sign any deals without Corey. They're like a package deal. Maybe seeing something on this camera. Dang it. We keep missing the good shows, apparently. Oh, there's something back there. Don't need the chaser drama stuff. Hey, I'll talk about anything on this channel. We always got time to fill. And I'm always going to be talking about something. Nothing is off the table. I just heard some thunder outside, by the way. What is going on? Oh, yeah. We bit of storm. Let me go outside and see if I can see it. And maybe it's worth me turning myself into a camera. Give me 1 second. Let me see. We missed all the fun. There's a big old blob of rain coming, but that's about it. Wouldn't be that cool to film. No cool shelf clouds or nothing. Lots of thunder though happening. But yeah, this little cloud that you see is the tornado warned portion. Or is the tornado warned storm. There is no rotation on the storm, so we're not going to see a NATO. But we can see some cool, ominous dark clouds. I'm good at finding those. You know, we should eventually get a pretty darn good view from Patrick. He's in Colorado Springs. This storm is coming towards Colorado Springs, so we should see it shortly on his stream. PDS blob. Yeah, it's the big old blob. An amorphous blob. Glad to hear that, Jerry. You must be from Colorado. Oh. It's not really a diss, to be honest. Yeah, tornado threat in Wyoming still looks low. And we got another amorphous blob out over here. Yeah, look at Dodge City. That boundary is sunken all the way to the south of Dodge City now. And we got a line of showers moving through St. John. We got overlook our, yeah. So a big part of our enhanced risk and moderate risk just got downgraded. Y'all ain't seeing that today. This is a PG channel. It can be, yes. It most of the time is. But every now and then we get a little bit late night-ish. Late night-ish. It usually happens when I am tired and it's late night. Like after like an 11-hour stream, after like 5 hours of streaming, it's usually somewhat okay, so it's not a big deal. But then once we get to like 11 hours, it gets a little bit sometimes gets a little bit unruly on this channel. What happened to this cameraman? Big time lightning. All right, I think we're just gonna have to wait for Patrick to get in route to see our next storm. Connor will save us from that. Yeah, he's back, I think, from vacation. I don't think we'll need him today, but he is back from vacation. Late nightish stuff happens late at night. Yes, I know. It's hard to believe. It is hard to believe. Not sure what I feel about how I feel about this camera angle. I changed my camera angle from behind my screen to on top of my screen. This is the OG camera angle. They expired this yet? No. They are going to allow it to expire. Bottom line, though, over here near Colorado Springs, could have up to ping pong ball sized hail come through the United States Air Force Academy and into northern Colorado Springs. Any threat for mid-Michigan today? No, not today, but tomorrow there is a threat for severe weather. A slight risk there at mid-Michigan. Some damaging winds and maybe also some tornadoes are going to be possible with that. What's the word about a possible derecha? I don't think a derecha is happening today. I do think we could still get a wind event like in this area, but again, our models have been severely wrong all day. So there is also still a chance that this little area also underperforms as well. And we're already actually getting some showers that are impinging into this area. So might not see much. We'll see. Is our satellite working yet? Dang it. I hate it when weather-wise gets behind on the satellite. I think today is going to be a colossal bust for a lot of folks. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Mm-mm-mm-mm. 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 The colossal bust is a great thing. And thank you, Earl Lewis, for the 10. Thank you so much. Thank you for the coverage. I saw part of the Nebraska tornado yesterday. How long was it on the ground for, and how long did it actually travel? I think it only traveled like 3 or 4 miles, and it was on the ground for like 45 minutes. Yeah, all this convection that out over here in Kansas is doing right now is just strengthening the cold pool in this area, really allowing that cold pool to surge further south of Dodge City. And it is kind of meandering off to the east a little bit. And it's not just me, by the way, that has some doubts on today. Also, the SPC has dropped their wording significantly on their latest mesoscale analysis. They were calling for like 100-mile-per-hour winds yesterday, and now they're calling for 65 to 80-mile-per-hour winds. But again, you're not going to see them back off of their wording until after the event has already underperformed. I do think they shouldn't. I do think they should have, in the last update, dropped the moderate risk. I think it'd be fine with the enhanced risk. Because I still do think we do have, an isolated potential for some like 80 to 90-mile-per-hour winds east of Wichita, like near like the Independence, Coffeyville, and Bartlesville area. I still think that's technically possible. But again, the models have been like, it started off, yesterday, like, oh, the model's really from here all the way to here. We're going to have some significant damaging winds. Then eventually they said nothing here. Now they're saying Wichita might not get anything. And the last little remaining area is out over here. But very well, I mean, we still got about 6 hours until the main event starts. Very well, by the time we, get to that point, we might not even be talking about Bartlesville anymore. Tornado, yeah, it's going to be hard for a tornado to happen in this environment, I must admit. There's still probably a chance for like a brief spin up, but it's going to be pretty hard. All right, looks like all of our tornado warnings have expired. Let me make sure Patrick is still current. All of our chasers are current. This is PA Storm Trackers. This is Beyond WX or Patrick. He's in Colorado Springs. We should eventually get a good view from him, I think, unless he's going towards a different storm. Oh, yeah. So this one has been rated an EF2. Looks like it, yeah, it only traveled like a couple of miles. That's crazy. Major tree damage. These are the DIs from there. Yeah, just some knocked over farm equipment. Thankfully, it didn't impact anybody. It was just stayed over a field. The thing that got it that EF2 rating was the tree damage. Sent me a shell cloud in Cheyenne. Cam in Cheyenne. That Cam in Cheyenne. What? What cam in Cheyenne? You never sent me a cam in Cheyenne. Or is it on that same website? Maybe. I only saw the Laramie camera, Bill. Field NATOs are the best? Yes. They are the best. The only time you ever really get to appreciate a tornado without any of that anxiety or guilt that it's going to hit somebody. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the storm outside my house is a little bit stronger than advertised. A little bit stronger. At least 60-mile-per-hour winds. That is severe. Knocked over my trash can. It's this storm. You're living girly, watch out. This ain't no 40-mile-per-hour windstorm. It's bigger than that. That Evan's brother? Who? Me? I'm me. Still keep on checking the outlook to see if they'll shave off any more. I do want to go check back in on the satellite imagery. Yeah, it looks like the clouds are building in even more. Man, we just might not see anything happen today. Look at all these clouds. The warm sector is doing the opposite of opening up. Oh no, it's looking like a bust. Looking like a complete bust, in my opinion. Yeah, going into northern Colorado Springs, ping pong ball sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds coming in the area. If this does nothing, you're getting a popcorn and watching Twitter. Ardmore, Tennessee, velocities look interesting. Really? I'm glad my power hasn't gone out. There is a chance. What? They look fine. Ardmore's fine. Can you have some rain? No. No rain for you. No, I won't do merch, but I have a new merch idea. Okay, give us your new hypothetical merch idea. I think Georgetown, Delaware will get bad weather tomorrow. I don't think tomorrow. I do think there's a chance for severe weather, but it's not going to be, well, it depends on what your threshold is for bad. I think your main day is going to be the day after tomorrow. And then, tomorrow you could see some severe weather. Today you could see some thunderstorms, but it'll ramp up going into the day after tomorrow. We already got a bunch of thunderstorms. We even got Severe thunderstorm about to head into Livingston, Kentucky. Yeah, you can see all these little scattered thunderstorms out over in the eastern portion of the United States. Taught you how to read radar against your will. Sorry about that. My bad, I guess. Do I have merch? No, we don't sell merch. We don't sell merch. We don't do sponsorships. We just rely on your guys' generosity during the stream to keep us fed and keep the channel going. If you want to donate, you can always do so, but we never ask you to. It's always up to you guys. All right. Sorry, I was just looking at some news. How is northern middle Tennessee looking tomorrow? Tomorrow looking like mainly like a marginal risk. So a little bit of chance of severe weather, but nothing, overly. There's nothing that you guys can't deal with out there. And it looks like your thunderstorm chances. Let's go bring that up. Thunderstorm chances. We'll go to the latest 12Z model run just so we can be in range. Yeah, it looks like your highest thunderstorm chance is going to be around 11 a.m. on the 18th. And then going through the 19th as well. Little line of thunderstorms could be possible there. Main threat will probably be damaging winds. Hope all is good. Can I give you a forecast for Cedar Bluff over the next couple of hours? Let me see where Cedar Bluff is. Cedar Bluff, Alabama. Maybe there needs to be a space. Cedar Bluff. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you do have some rain heading your way. There's Cedar Bluff over here. Yeah, it's just going to be spotty rain, thunderstorms. Wouldn't rule out a severe thunderstorm warning. I just had a storm back over here near this area. That definitely seemed like it was a little bit stronger than 60 mile per or 40 miles per hour. So I'd be on your toes, but it shouldn't be really much more than just rain and thunderstorms with a small chance for a severe threat. Woodward, Oklahoma. Isn't that like, yeah, Woodward is going to have a chance for some thunderstorms tonight. I don't think they're going to be overly severe. I think the worst of it will pass to your north, but I wouldn't rule out, the potential for some severe weather. It does put you in a moderate risk, but I just don't see that confirming, to be honest. If we come over to our latest HRRR, our latest model run for you, show you what you can expect. Some storms could come through by around like 8 to 9 p.m., but that's about it. These aren't going to be anything too crazy. Maybe some potential there for some, some rotation, maybe some large to very large hail, some damaging winds, but they shouldn't really be anything over 70-mile-per-hour winds, which is, not really moderate risk worthy. So, it should confirm more as like a slight risk to an enhanced risk for you. I would definitely be weather aware around like 7 to 9 p.m. I'd keep your eyes on it, but I really don't believe it's going to be that elevated of a threat. Really nothing that you guys aren't used to there, Woodward. I really do think if we do still have a strong wind threat today, it'll most likely occur in this corridor here near Wichita, just south and east of Wichita. It's a couple of places you could pick to move into northern Alabama, like a small town. Gunnersville. Gunnersville is a beautiful area. Grant's pretty beautiful. Gurley, yeah. Owens Crossroads, all right. Like over near like none of these areas are really small towns. Like Hazel Green's okay, Meridianville's okay. Trying to remember, there's a really nice town somewhere out over here. I forget where it is. Like in the mountains. Yeah, I would say those areas are pretty nice. Like Gunnersville's a really nice kind of small town vibe area. Sand Mountain's nice. Any tornadoes in Woodland Park? No, there was no tornadoes in Woodland Park as far as I know. I haven't seen anything confirmed there. It wouldn't surprise me if we maybe got like something eventually confirmed there. The rotation was somewhat decent. Coleman, yeah, Coleman's all right. It's actually not as small as a lot of people think. But it's not really that beautiful either. It's just kind of a town. Oh, another like nice little town is also I kind of like Decatur. I like Decatur. I like the little lake vibe. There are parts of Decatur that are like bleh, bleh, but there are also other parts of Decatur that are nice. Athens is nice as well. Florence around the Muscle Shoals area can be pretty nice. It can or like Florence itself can be okay, but again, there are a lot of parts of Florence that are not really that great. Looks like Patrick's actually getting close to a storm here. Look at that. This is the one near Colorado, near Colorado Springs. Let's listen in to see if he's got any good audio. Kind of hard to tell what's happening. I'm not really sure what's up with this camera quality. It's overexposed. I guess we're near a storm. It kind of looked like a storm there for a little bit, but I'm not quite sure anymore. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't think that storm over there near Colorado Springs is really that strong anymore. Yeah, I mean, it still has some decent winds to it. Up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. 1.25-inch hail, $half sized hail. Not super dangerous, but it's going to be a loud storm for sure. Back over here near Cheyenne, probably our strongest storm that we have ongoing right now with some like 60-mile-per-hour winds. Wouldn't rule out some isolated bits of 70-mile-per-hour winds there. And yeah. We also have some storms back over here. This severe thunderstorm warning was just allowed to expire near Hugo. That one was just allowed to expire as well. So really not too much going on. Got to get out to Florida. I would love to. Is there any tornado warning in Cheyenne now? Oops. Yeah, I got to remember to minimize that. Sorry. Yeah, no tornado warning in Cheyenne. Some pretty strong winds. What's the weather for Toadsuck, Arkansas? Okay, Capybara. I know what you're doing. You're just looking up all the weirdest names in the United States and asking for a forecast for it, which is annoying, to be honest. Ding dong, Texas. Here we go. Jeez Louise. Oh, boy. Yeah, lots of lightning over where I am. Jeez. And latest mesoscale analysis, still not seeing any big changes to my thought process. It is just very capped. Surface inversion is really stout out here near Wichita. So still kind of just like, I still think it's gonna bust. Or most of the risk. And I'm really not seeing much evidence yet that this area has opened up over here near Bartlesville yet. I mean, we really need a kind of completely wide open warm sector. Yeah, look at our lapse rates too. Lapse rates are well below 5. They really don't improve out in front. Once we get into the nighttime hours, you can see that they start to drop off again. Our strongest storms might be those ones that actually form near Woodward. Kind of an interesting little boundary interaction, like just north of Woodward. It could maybe be a tornado risk there. Yeah, I mean, this is not what you see. Like, no, this is not what you want to see. Or it is what you want to see technically if you don't want to see bad storms. But you can see that it still says 4 hours from now it clears out there a little bit as the storms approach Wichita. And that's been pretty consistent. So I do still think there's going to be, that's probably going to be the peak of our severe weather event. But it's been saying like all day, like, oh, it's going to clear out soon. It's going to clear out soon. That surface inversion, and it just keeps sitting and just keeps hanging out. So we'll see what the next update says. Our next forecast says that we should see, some of that start to clear out by our next update. Well, actually, no. Okay, so this is what the models were saying. Let me zoom in. All right, can y'all see it pretty decently? Here's what the models were saying. And this is the current. This is where we're saying it was supposed to be, and this is where it's saying current. So as you can see, our capping inversion is still stronger than even what the models say should be happening right now, an hour from, right now. So this was an hour ago. This was, released, and this is where it's sitting current. I mean, this is what it's been doing all day. That surface inversion has been so stubborn, and it's not going away anytime soon. A lot stronger. So it's going to take a while for that to lift out, like this is saying. Have no tornado action. I mean, if we do get tornado action, it'll probably be like where this dips down, like something like that, and then I get a storm like that kind of rides on that boundary. As of right now, our boundary is well south of Dodge City and kind of in this area. If we look at our outlook, you can see that takes out like St. John, Kinsley, Dodge City, Cimarron, Larned, Great Bend, Lyons out of our risk for, really dangerous severe weather at all. That's not real. I'm gonna search it anyways. It's not real. Lied. Yeah, no tornado warnings in Colorado. Just some spotty severe weather. We got some severe weather coming through northern Colorado Springs. Potential with some 60-mile-per-hour wind potential. We've got a storm down over here south and east of Hugo, heading towards Boyero, with 1-inch hail potential. We got storms in and around the Denver area, not even severe warned, and we got storms in Wyoming pushing off to the east. These definitely have some damaging wind potential. I would not rule out, some isolated 70-mile-per-hour wind gust up there. That's going to be the main threat with these storms. Oh, they did eventually warn this storm. Aha! I wasn't crazy. Yeah, for like Scottsboro, Sylvania, Fife, and Fort Payne, all need to be indoors and away from windows. Definitely some 60-mile-per-hour winds in that storm. I just went through it, and it was a little bit more intense than I thought it should be. This is what it looks like over in Colorado. We're actually getting a decent view here from Patrick. This is near Colorado Springs. I was hoping we might see a shelf cloud, but it doesn't look like there is much back in there. Hey, people have questions. I mean, that's my whole purpose is to answer them, right? I'm not answering your questions. What's the difference between me and some random dude on TV? What is Little Rock, Arkansas looking like? You guys got some thunderstorms over there. They really shouldn't be severe. So, not expecting much severe potential. But, there's always a chance. I'm definitely a random dude, but I talk to chat. So, where the thing says the highest Cape level is 550 or 5,500. Yeah. Yeah. Right now, it says around 5,000 currently, and it should peak at around 5,500. Yeah. By the time about 4 hours from now. Yeah. Yeah. I still believe that this right here is our main area for today, which, as you can see, is a little bit different than the current forecast. I think if we do see anything that can develop, it's going to be in that area. I just don't see much significant winds happening. By then, I do want to see what the latest HRRR 18Z is saying. Let me get the make sure that's up to current. Even does a stream in a tuxedo? That would have to be a very high goal because I'd have to buy a tuxedo. 18Z is taking forever to load in. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Let me see if it's on pivotal weather yet. Yeah, I mean it's mostly loaded on pivotal weather. See if I can get this up at least here. Yeah. You can see the HRRR does absolutely nothing with the wind until it gets to Wichita. Then we have max wind gusts of about 60-mile-per-hour winds to 70-mile-per-hour winds, and it just falls apart. That's the latest 18Z. So yeah, I ain't changing my mind, especially now that the models are coming onto my side. Green screen tux, a tux, green screen a tux. No, yeah, it would have to be like a chat goal of like $3,000 because tuxes are expensive. Maybe I could get a tux from like a thrift store. But you know, if I'm wearing a tux on stream, I want it to look fancy. Hate myself green. Just have like floating eyes and a mouth. Unclaimed baggage tux. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. You might be able to find a good tux at unclaimed baggage. Wyoming, yeah, we got some storms going into Cheyenne right now, about to head into Pine Bluffs. Anything to be concerned about for Iowa? Not really today. I mean, we do have some severe weather possible up there. I'd say like southeastern Iowa probably has some of the highest severe weather chances for today. Why is it taking so long for Radar Omega to load the 18Z? That is super annoying. But it's just classic Radar Omega behavior. Yeah, could get some rain like near central Iowa today, and then some stronger storms like southeast Iowa. Maybe some more over there in like northwest Iowa, but we're not really expecting anything but wind there. Radar Omega should have a free trial. I honestly don't care about Radar Omega. They suck. Timu Tux? Yeah. Yeah, boy. That I can afford. Is that a real thing? Let me see. Timu. Tuxedo. There we go. It's only 73 bucks. Oh, wait. I gotta get back. There we go. 73 bucks. Get a large. Perfect. Wow. Timu Tux. Imagine this. This is like crazy. There we go. There. I mean, it's only 70 bucks. We will do 50 super chats. 10 or higher. We'll do that for 3 hours. I will wear a tux on stream. So it's pretty much just a $500 super chat goal. If you guys want to see me in a Timu tuxedo. There you go. Well, we actually got a severe thunderstorm warning on one portion of this storm. 1-inch hail heading into Medora and Bueller and McPherson. How much to not see me in a tuxedo? 0. I mean, if we don't hit the goal, then it's not happening. Is there any tornado possible in Wyoming? No, it's a very low chance. We had a tornado earlier, but that was a mesoscale accident. Thank you, Links, for the 10. Thank you so much. Starting us off with the first $10 don't know. Only 50 more to go. Although, if we get like a donation that's like $100, we will count that as 10 of them. The goal is 500. You can do that. You can send it through Venmo or you can send it through Cash App, whatever. By the way, I know some of you guys have been wondering about the tornado tramp stamp. I am still working up the nerves to get one. It's a big commitment. That's the only reason I haven't done it. I've had some free time, obviously. I'm nervous. We just got a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm for 1 inch hail heading into Broomfield and Brighton here north of Denver. I won't back out of it. I haven't backed out of the tornado tramp stamp. I'm just working up the courage to get it done. I've been trying. I mean, every time I think about it, I'm just like, I don't know, man. That's gonna hurt, and I keep getting nervous. Hurts more than you think. Yay. Thanks for helping, Leslie. I feel a lot less nervous now that Leslie said that. Opinion on Wichita, it's either going to get nasty, like right above you, or just to your east. I think you've got about a 50% chance of actually even seeing anything, dangerous. Anything more than just like a weak storm. Screaming into the mic while doing coverage. Oh my goodness. If you get in a fattier area, well, I don't have any fat on my lower back. I have no fat on my lower back. And that is, that makes me feel even worse. Leslie says it's going to hurt, and it depends on fat content, which I have none in the tramp stamp area. It's not that bad. You tore your ACL. I tore my ACL twice. Honestly, like it hurts really bad for like 15 minutes and then it goes away. It's really not that bad. My little brother has a torn ACL right now, and he's been walking on it for like months. What's my best celebrity impression? I just don't have one. I don't work on pain. I mean, I don't work on impressions, so. Does my brother play golf too? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Both of my brothers play golf. But according to my dad, he just played with my older brother who used to be the best. I'm the best now. No big deal. I got the forehead tan lines and the hand tan lines to prove I have been grinding. You see my right hand or this hand is a lot more tan than this hand because that's where my golf glove goes on this hand. Thank you, Terry Graves, for the $10. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if you can tell on camera. Hopefully you can't. The hat that I wear, like you can definitely tell, like in real life, my forehead is like way wider than like the rest of my face because my hat puts like a shadow on my face. You don't put birthday cakes, you're banned. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go check back on the satellite view. And we're still seeing that cloud cover. Yeah, look at that. The cloud cover. I mean, the clearing of the let me see. Let's go get let's go over here real quick. Let's get some cameras in Kansas really quick and see just how clear or not clear it is out over there in the Wichita area. See if that cloud cover is dense or if it's like lighter cloud cover. If that's thick cloud cover, I just don't think. I mean, we might not even see anything in Wichita. Yeah, I want to get like a nice view. I mean, it's not thin, at least back over there. It does seem like though that there could still be some sun working in. Maybe. Do we have anybody tuning in from Wichita? How thick is that cloud cover? Yeah, it definitely seems shadowy out here. Thank you, Steffi, for the 10. Thank you so much. And guys, just think about it. If you guys actually hit this goal and I get a tuxedo, I can wear the tuxedo again. It's an investment for the future. I'll have to like put gel in my hair and like slick it all the way back so I look like an Italian mobster. Maybe a little bit more sunny over here. Yeah, that sun's trying to poke out. Okay, here's a great view. Yeah, there is still some sun poking in. Yeah, maybe if we do end up having to get the tuxedo, and if it looks good, maybe we'll wear it every time there's like big and bad weather. Like for the big days, we'll be tuxedoed out. Now it doesn't fit. Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing the opposite of that. I've been doing a routine. Been waking up at about 6 or like 7 a.m. I drink coffee. I work out, take a shower, make my thumbnails for the day, eat, and then do a little bit of cleaning. And then if I don't have to go live, I go golfing. Timu spans suspenders because that's his thing. That's not my thing. I'm not Steel spans, James spans, iconic drip. So I'm gonna make sure these chasers are current. Yeah. Nice little view out from Colorado. Short-lived peaks at the sun in Wichita the past hour. Yeah. Is it getting more cloudy or less cloudy? Yeah, I'm gonna be getting in big time shape. Y'all finally get to experience. I used to be like in shape for most of my life, but the routine that I got from COVID has been sticking around for a lot longer than I've wanted. I've been like kind of working back into getting more in shape and then kind of failing, especially when we get into these long duration severe events. But now that I have moved working out into my morning routine, it used to be my nighttime routine. Now that I've just taken everything that I usually do at night, pushed it back into the morning, I really do think it's gonna be I'm gonna be able to really keep that going, even in like the more dangerous moments. So I'll be able to keep working out, and I'm gonna get back to it. Evan Buff Burger. I'm actually kind of already a little buff, but I used to be a lot stronger. Double pound burger. Oh my god. Y'all are crazy. I really just want my six pack back. I had a six pack really from like age like 3 to about age like 19. It was after I tore my ACL. That was when I really stopped working out as much. Yeah, I was weird. I was a weird kid. Me and my little brother had six packs like ever since birth. We were extremely active as kids. And still watching out for some 1-inch hail going through Fort Lupto or Lupton. Another 1-inch hailstorm heading towards Eaton and Greeley. This storm over here near Pine Bluff still warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds heading towards Wyoming in that area. Colorado Springs still has some storms around you. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds with both of those guys. This one's heading towards Falcon. This one's heading towards Rosemont. Got another one back over here south of Hugo, heading towards Boyero still with 1-inch hail. That one's been downgraded. And this one over here has half-dollar size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, moving south of Stem Branch. And we still got this 1-inch hailstorm heading into Medora and Inman here in Kansas. You're eating dirt when you were 3? Hey, that's healthy. But yeah, me and my little brother, we were super spastic. I was probably the most spastic out of everybody, though. I was a very active, energetic kid. That was like when my ADHD was probably peak. I also started to get a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here in Alabama with some 60-mile-per-hour winds heading towards Talladega. And then south of Brent, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I started playing football when I was, I think, 5. Yeah, I was like 5 or 6. Burns, West Virginia? Really? No. Quit it. Wait, what do you mean, West Virginia? There is nothing in Burns, West Virginia. Oh, Wyoming. I don't know why I wedge your eye as. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would say that's probably going to get NATO warned. Huh. This line continues to surprise. Although I'm not sure how legitimate that signal is. It might be some contamination in there, but that also could be legitimate. Look in the upper levels. Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't look like a kind of storm that could produce that much rotation. So we might be getting some sort of contamination there, but we'll see what it looks like on the next scan. Could be kind of the same thing. There's a little boundary right here. That might be legitimate. There's definitely a boundary there that's latched onto. But whatever it's going to do, it's going to be pretty brief. And the good news is that rotation is literally in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody that lives where that rotation is right now. Wichita going to be bad? Probably not. Bum, 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 bum. Look for Missouri. Near Monette, like up here. Here, Monette is. Monette, Missouri. Ooh, you're down there. So yeah, you guys had some light rain near you. Check the latest model runs for you. Yeah, could definitely get some damaging winds. Probably somewhere between like 70, like 60 to 80 mile per hour winds are probably going to be possible if this part of the line actually gets fully organized and goes exactly in this area. Unfortunately, we still don't have the 18Z loaded up. It's like fully loaded up on all the other apps. I don't know what's wrong with Radar Omega. Thank you, Andrea, for becoming an EF1 member. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Fry family. Welcome, welcome. Is Falcon going to be bad? What state is that in? Yeah, the risk for today right now is a moderate risk, but I am almost 100% confident at this point that this part is not going to confirm. Might still see something sneaky like near Woodward, but it's going to be very isolated to this just down here in this corridor. And also, I think one of our main areas where, still maybe some moderate or more like enhanced type severe weather or like a wind bag potential is probably going to be over just south and east of Wichita, potentially making it into Springfield, but it should die as it goes past Joplin. And that's it. That's if it can form at all. Our models are still dead wrong on this storm. And they've been dead wrong for a while. So still some question marks. Up to St. Louis, you guys got an air quality alert. Maybe a small chance for severe weather as we go into the overnight, early morning period. They kept the moderate? Of course they did. They never backtrack. When they issue a moderate, they keep it up. Even when evidence is screaming to the contrary. Let's go, let me see the latest update. They haven't posted it yet on Twitter. I'm not protesting against them. I'm just looking at the evidence, and the evidence is very obviously pointing to, a lot weaker of an event. So, what time in Tulsa? For Tucson, it was like around 11 to 12 a.m. Oh, Colorado. Let me see where Falcon, Colorado is. Falcon, Colorado. Yeah, you guys right now are in a severe risk. Our severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like the worst of that went to your south. And yeah, it'll probably clear out pretty substantially after that. Yeah, I'm not even really looking at the model. I mean, I'm looking more at the RAP analysis right now, and that's what's really guiding me. Is the fact that our surface inversion has been hanging in way longer than our model suggested. We should get a new update on our RAP analysis probably within a good 5 to 10 minutes. And I got a feeling that trend's going to continue all the way until this event starts. There's going to be just a brief period as this line gets to Wichita. A brief period where it what was I going to say? Where it's going to have some decent kinematics. I mean, you can already see our outflow boundary is sunk way far south of Dodge City. It's about to push into Wichita here in a little bit. It's still surging. You can see that boundary really clearly, that little green line there. That's going to cause that cold pool to go right over Wichita, really lowering the chance for anything really significant out there. They're saying we're going to get 100-mile-per-hour winds. They're not saying that anymore. Let me find that mesoscale analysis. And so many rockets alerts in Israel. Crazy. I got to scroll through all of them. I just recently followed this account on Twitter that's been monitoring all of that. It's just been like, I have to scroll for like half an hour to get through all the rocket alerts just so I can look at the weather. But yeah, this is our latest mesoscale analysis. And as you can see, this is the main corridor where most of our severe weather is going to be possible throughout the day. And they've highlighted it here for their tornado watch. And they're saying wind between 65 and 80 miles per hour. So they're even starting to backtrack a little bit from their initial forecast. And that is because just the models and also the surface data is screaming that the environment is not as favorable as we once thought. Wichita had 101 mile per hour winds this morning, right? Technically, you could say it's already confirmed. But yeah, that's technically not part of today's risk, technically. Yeah, they did keep the moderate, but you can see they're starting to slice off some of our enhanced risk and slight risk as that they're basically they're a little bit behind, but they're basically slicing off the risk wherever this outflow boundary goes to the south of. So they're tracking that outflow boundary again is a very significant thing to keep an eye on throughout the day for that damaging wind threat. The further that sinks down to the south, the further that sinks into Wichita, that is going to really lower the chances for severe weather. They're definitely a bit iffy on it. They're still keeping a moderate risk. Let's see where they've shrunk it to. I'm surprised they still kept it here. This just doesn't seem like a very logical thing to do. Even over here, it's a little bit, I mean, it's still conditional, but I definitely think like this area probably has our highest chance still for the damaging wind potential. Can Overland Park expect? Isn't that near? No, it's not near there. Near Topeka? Where's Overland Park? Overland Park, Kansas. Oh, it is over here. Okay, so it's over near Kansas. Probably not much. I'm expecting like rain and showers for you guys. I'm not sure if this is going to confirm on the northern side here. Not sure if that's going to confirm. But if you do get that, that'll be some severe. Yeah, it looks like that goes to the south of you. So yeah, maybe some severe winds, but it looks like it's going to dip just to the south. And I do believe that'll be further south than what's being indicated on some of our models. So we lost a chaser, sad. We got Pennsylvania storm trackers out there watching some clouds. All right. I'm going to end the stream here, folks. I'll be back later today. If the severe threat starts to ramp up, or maybe like an hour or so, but I'm going to eat something. Again, I mainly just wanted to come on and give you guys my thoughts on the event, just so like if I never go live today, you know why, because it just completely fell apart. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thankfully, we were here. I wasn't expecting any tornadoes to happen today, but thankfully we were here for that one near Cheyenne. Not that we really warned anybody, as it kind of hit a field. But yeah, I'll be back on later. We'll continue to the goal for the tuxedo goal later on today as well. I also missed some Venmos. Let me make sure I count those before I get off. So we have $30 there. That's 3 out of 10. Yeah. Load up this Venmo. We got a Venmo donation. Maybe not. I got a Venmo notification. It must have been for something else. Okay, yeah, never mind. We didn't get anything on Venmo. All right. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Those are my thoughts. We'll be live later on today if needed. But yeah, see y'all in a little bit. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to see the forecast, go back to the beginning of the stream, and my thoughts are still kind of the same. So we'll be back on later today, potentially within the next hour or two. In the next hour or two, I'll probably initiate a live stream after I'm done eating. But yeah, thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want a notification for the next time I go live, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and also join our Discord, please. That is the best way to make sure that you get a notification is by joining the Discord. So let me go ahead and put that into the chat as well. Join the Discord in the chat. Yeah, you'll definitely get a notification for the channel there as well. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. See y'all in a little bit. Just going to take a nice little break, eat some food. Just wanted to hop on here and give you guys a brief little forecast. But huge shout out to the mods for tuning in, and thank you everybody that subscribed and donated. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Peace.